Hello, I'm Paloma from Betterment, Better Me Natural Transformations. And today I wanted to talk about resilience. We all experience lots of different kinds of stress and trauma. No one is exempt, but some of us seem more capable of bouncing back than some of the rest of us. How do those people do that? How do we actually figure out the steps that they take? I don't know about you. I personally have found that a lot of people can tell me what to do and why to do it. And they can show me, they can prove to me that they have done that, but not very many people can break it down or are willing to break down the steps and tell me exactly how did you do that. And that's what I want to talk about too. How do we create like a procedure to follow so that we can be resilient too? For myself, I like to look at the laws of physics, look at nature. How are things repeated throughout the universe that tell me how to make these things happen? Because the universe is based on those repeating patterns, those equations and programs that are repeated over and over like fractals on really small microscopic cellular level to a galactic level. So let's look at how resilience works in that framework in the world of physics, and then see how we can relate that to emotional resilience in life. So we know resilience to us means, oh, somebody can bounce back. Great, good for you. But in physics, it's a little bit more detailed, and that can help us to figure out what to do. In physics, resilience is defined as the ability of an elastic material to absorb energy and then release it as that material itself springs back to its original shape. So where do we see that in nature? One of the easiest, closest things is right on your face. Well, it's all over you. It's your skin. Our skin is incredibly elastic. We move it, we ask it to stretch, we provide resistance all the time, and it usually bounces back to its original shape really quickly and really beautifully too. It doesn't usually complain. It's not usually too difficult for our skin to do that. And it does it all the time, all day, every day for us. So how do we use that? What else can we look to as an example? Well, I can't take my skin off to give you an example, to give you a demonstration. So I brought this resistance band. So this is an elastic material, right? And as I pull on it, it absorbs the energy that I'm giving from my arm, my hand. And then when I stop providing that energy, it releases that energy and goes back to its original shape. How do we do that? If we think about this resistance band as a thread in our lives, maybe it's your job, it's your car, it's your spouse, it's your mom. You have how many of these? Thousands, millions of threads in your life. So let's break that down. First of all, we have to figure out which thread we're talking about. Because if we're going to focus on that one over there, but this is the one that's really stretched, then we're wasting our efforts. We're wasting our energy. So let's focus on that one first. So that's step one. That seems fairly simple, but it's sometimes difficult to do, to establish which thread is actually creating the resistance that we want to bounce back from. So the second step, after we've figured out which thread we're actually talking about, is to acknowledge the dimensions of this thing that's pulling on this thread and the effect that it has. That seems maybe kind of obvious, maybe overly simple, but this is a step that a lot of people miss. This is where a lot of people, in my experience, get stuck. They stop because they don't want to acknowledge that this person, this situation, this interaction, what I'm contributing to this interaction with this person, that's causing a problem. It's creating resistance. And now I have to be resilient, but I don't want to think of this person that way. I love them, or I need this thing, this job, this car, this house. We love a lot of things. We need a lot of things in our lives, but sometimes the way we interact with those things creates resistance, and we have to be resilient. So we need to first acknowledge that, acknowledge what's contributing to that situation. And a lot of people call this acceptance, accept the problem. Personally, that made me twitch when I first started hearing people say, oh, just accept it. Oh, I don't want to accept it. I don't like it. If it's a problem, if I feel I need to be, this is something I have to bounce back from, I have to be resilient, I don't want to accept it. I don't like it. So for me, I changed the word to acknowledge. I can acknowledge it. I can acknowledge that it exists. I can acknowledge what it looks like, what its impact is on my life, without accepting it like a gift, without feeling the need to say thank you for this hurtful thing. So that's the next step. That's the second step. So first we're going to figure out what thread in life are we talking about. And then we're going to acknowledge what it is that's creating the resistance. Then we have a decision to make. What can we really do about it? And this is a step we all know. We all know this already, right? You can either do something about it, you can change something, or you have to deal with it. And usually we can figure out really quickly whether we can change the entire situation or not. But how often do we think about how much of the situation can we change? So if we go back to this example, if I'm pulling here, right, how much strength, how much resistance can I create if I use my entire hand? What if I use one finger less? Less and less resistance is created if I have less energy going into the band, into that thread of my life. So where can we turn off or turn down the energy that's going into that thread of life, that's having to be absorbed by that thread of life? Where can we turn that off? Maybe in some extreme cases, we might need to cut that thing out completely. If it's that old car that it's not working well, it's going to cost more money to fix it and repair it than it is to just put a down payment on another car. Okay, maybe you should just get rid of the car. If it's a person that you care deeply about and you love 98% of this relationship with this person, can you figure out a way to just maybe turn down the energy on that or change it? Can you alter your perspective or something about that relationship to make it so that the energy that you're getting from that isn't resistance, it's something else? Can you change it? So where can we turn off or turn down the energy? We don't necessarily have to change everything. I am very much an all or nothing person, but really, truly, it's not always all or nothing. Sometimes it's something or nothing. So pick the thread. Which thread are we talking about in life? What really does this problem look like? Be super honest there. And then what can I actually do about it? Do I just have to deal with it? Or can I change something about it? And when we're looking at changing things, really the biggest thing we can change, the only thing we can change is what? Ourselves. Sometimes we can change something for someone else. We can offer them help, or we can offer them support. We can't make them take it. We can't make them use it. That's a painful lesson, trust me. But we can't change them. We can change ourselves. So where are some areas in which we can change ourselves? First of all, we need to remember to always, when we take action, when we're making these decisions, to always act with love. Because what you put in is what you're going to get out, okay? So if you have this resistance band and life is pulling on this particular thread of your life, if you put in resistance, what are you getting out of it? Tired. That's what you're getting out of it. What if you just put in some love and change what you can and just wait a little bit for it to return to its original shape? Just a thought. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So what energy do you want to put into these things? That will determine what you get out of it. So we need to honor our own needs. This is a super, super important step. Make sure, we know all these things. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, eat well, drink lots of water, get some sunshine, get some exercise, have people who bring positivity and joy and vitality and excitement in a safe way to your life. Those are the things that we need to be focusing on. Those are the things that we can control the most. So if we focus on those things and we turn off or turn down the energy that isn't congruent with that, that's our last step. We'll bounce back. We will return to our original shape, because this isn't about just coping with the issue, with the resistance. It's not just about coping. It's about preserving what was wonderful about you before that resistance came. It's about preserving that, holding on to that, so that then you can take that into what happens after resilience. That's the fun part. That's where you get to create whatever it is that you want next. You get to create something exciting because you've preserved your original shape. By just absorbing the energy, okay, this is happening. Here's the energy I can turn off. Here's the energy I can turn down. And then releasing it. Let it go. When it's over, let it go. That's not always easy to do, but that's how it works. That's physics. And we are physical creatures. We follow the same laws on every level, whether it's physical laws with our movement or emotionally. The principles are the same. So I would encourage you to take a look at the threads in your life and see where there's resistance. Take a look at what are the dimensions, what's causing this resistance. What effect is it having in my life? What do I want to feel? What can I really do about it? Where can I turn down or turn off the energy? Where can I show love to myself, which is in effect showing love to other people? Because when you show love to yourself, you have more to give to other people. And you'll do that naturally. Thank you so much for spending the last little bit with me. I hope that you found something really useful out of all of that. And I would love to hear about it. If you put it in the comments, send us a message, tell us what you think, ask questions if you have them. Let us know how you have been resilient. How have you been able to apply this information in your life? Of course, don't forget to follow and subscribe and do all of those things if you want. And I look forward to sharing something new with you next time. If there's something that you want to hear about, please put it in the comments or send us a message and let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out with that. Thanks.